Hey, I'm Riverman, and today we're going to be canning dewberries. My wife and I went out today and picked these beautiful black plump dewberries. They're kind of like a blackberry, except they're sweeter and larger and more plentiful in our area here in northern Alabama. We've got about 1.5 gallons, and this is way more than we need for the 9 half-pint jars that we're going to put up today of dewberry jam. So let me show you how it's done. One of the first things we'll do is fill our canning pot half full of water and bring it to a boil. I like to put my half-pint jars in the water and boil them for a few minutes to help sterilize them. I also put my canning funnel and my tongs in there to help sterilize those too. Then we'll take 5 cups of these dewberries and mash them with a potato masher until they're all squished up. Okay, we've poured our 5 cups of crushed dewberries into my pot, and we need to bring this to a boil. First we're going to stir in some, I like to use Sure Jell, 1 packet of Sure Jell. And we stir this. After this mixture comes to a full rolling boil, we'll add our 7 cups of sugar, which we already have measured out. Just pour it in all at once. Stir it constantly and bring it back to a full rolling boil and boil for 1 full minute. Okay, after it's boiled for a minute, we'll take it off the eye and then try to skim off as much of the foam as you can. And it's not going to hurt anything if we leave a little bit in there. Okay, then we quickly fill the jars with the hot liquid to about 1/4 to 1/8 of an inch from the lid. Okay, after you get the jars filled up, you need to take a paper towel or a clean dry cloth and wipe the rims. Make sure you get the inside, top, and outside of the rim. Any little remaining fruit there or sugar will spoil the whole batch, or spoil that jar. Okay, after you get the rim wiped off, take a lid and put it in place. When we get all the jars wiped and the lids in place, we'll go back and screw the rings on. Okay, next we're going to make jelly. So we need 3 3/4 cups of crushed dewberries in our case. And we start by lining a bowl with a cheesecloth, or in this case a clean brand new diaper. Alright, once you get the berries crushed and put in the cheesecloth, just kind of wring it out and try to get as much juice as we can. Remember, we're looking for 3 3/4 cups. Okay, now we have our 3 3/4 cups of dewberry juice in the pot, and to this we're going to add 1 packet of Sure Jell. This is a 1.75 ounce packet. And we're going to stir to dissolve this. Bring this to a boil over high heat, stirring constantly. Okay, now that the 3 3/4 cups of dewberry juice is a full rolling boil, we're going to add the 4 1/2 cups of plain white sugar all at once. And that mixture already has the Sure Jell in it. And we're going to bring this back to a boil and boil this for 1 full minute. Okay, after it's boiled for a full minute, we'll remove it from the heat and skim off as much of the foam as you can get off. And of course we already have our sterilized jars and canning funnel set aside and prepared. Okay, next we place our prepared jars in the canner and make sure they're covered with at least a couple inches of water. We're going to bring these to a boil and boil them for 10 full minutes, and this is called processing. After they've boiled for 10 minutes and they're processing in the canner, set them out on a towel and let them sit for 24 hours. And if you did it right, within a few minutes you should hear them sucking their lids down with a pop. Okay, now that we're all done, we've got all these beautiful jars of jams and jellies we put up in our own kitchen. And this is pretty much what it looks like when it's all done. Now that's good eating.